One of the questions that was disturbing the young people is how long should we take in dating, courtship? I know you answered part of this, but this has always disturbed the young people. We want to thank the people from Musasa for joining us and ministering, and even our online audience. In case you have questions, please feel free to send them. We have a team here, Elder and Pastor Sally will be handling the concerns that have come up concerning the church operations. How do we pass on our different suggestions? If you have an idea and you want it to be implemented in a local church, so these are some of the issues which we are going to address. On top of those which you may have, so prepare the questions. Feel free to ask in relation to what they have presented. We wish to welcome you. Elder, just a recap, 1 or 2 words, Pastor, 1 or 2 words, then we get into the audience. Thank you.
You have asked the question already. Thank you so much, Pastor Perez. And as you can see, I'm sandwiched between 2 pastors, and the topic is very sensitive. I am very sure it will not leave the church board. But these are the things we need to talk about openly, because I'm the type of person who speaks my mind, because I know that our church sometimes has problems. We kind of cover things up, and yet they are eating our people. So I'm very open. Where I'm not very sure, I keep quiet. But where I know something will help, I speak it out. So bear with me when my language is so overt, so open. And sometimes I fear that when I discuss something, it could be actually touching somebody, and I could be looking at the audience, and I appear as if I'm looking at the real person, which is not the reality. It is just my nature. Already, the pastor has asked a question. How long should it take somebody in courtship? And yesterday, I touched that issue briefly, and I will not differ so much from what I said. Because we have had people talk about issues, how to prepare for marriage and this and that, and they give their personal experiences. And we take these personal experiences as gospel truth. But this is not right, because these are their personal experiences. And we have different experiences. We have different backgrounds. We have different cultures. We have different religious beliefs. Now for us, we have our church. So within those frameworks, where we come from, it can determine how long it should take. But I can say that even courtship can begin now before you even mention the person that you intend to marry the person. And I want to believe that the best courtship is when you have not yet told the person. Sometimes I sound controversial. Now, in many cases, people were hypocritical. We are hypocrites. By nature, when you know that somebody wants something from you, maybe if it is a job interview, you put on your best mask. So it is with courtship. If you see somebody and he sees that you have intentions to marry, they will put on their best what? Masks. Such that even if you take a long time, there are some things you'll never see, and you will see them only when you're ready in it. I trust that if you are to look at somebody in a neutral way, on a neutral ground, that would be already the beginning of a courtship, which you have not yet identified, which you have not yet mentioned. What do I mean? We have interactions, formal or casual interactions. Well, we come to church, we normally look at each other, we see our behaviors in that natural setting. You can easily tell who is who in that natural setting. So that by the time you start declaring your wish, by the time you start bringing your manifesto, you have already studied this person in the neutral setting. And this person will not easily put on a mask because you have already studied this person. The problem is, Sometimes we just do somebody, immediately you want to do what? To get this person for a marriage. You don't even know the background of the person, you have not done it, and you declare. So that one will make this person show you that mask which you will take long to do, to see. But if the person has always been there and you have always first observed from a neutral point of view, I think the courtship can take a shorter time because you already know the person from that perspective.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Elder. We want to go to the audience as Pastor is getting set. In case you're there and you have questions, since we have people following us online, I think we'll have people joining us here. In case we have questions, please, you can raise your hand. There's a hand there. 2, 3. You can join us here such that our camera crew can get you. Please come here at the front, Pastor, as that team comes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pastor Perez. I want to thank every one of you for having joined us ever since we joined. We came to have a study for this camp meeting. And I want to thank God who has been with us till this day. The question that is posed as if at all a member is having a concern in our local church, where do you start from? Where do you go? And remember, we've been studying all about the church of God. One thing we thank our God is that even us whom we allowed to be leaders, we try our best to see that we move within a section where organization is called upon. So back to our local churches, because everything that we aim at is a reflection of heaven. You have a concern. We have committees. For example, we have a departmental for development, someone who runs family life, someone in the office of the deaconry. You have a concern that pertains one of that office, then you go to the departmental takes it to the committee. After the committee discussing the issue, then the issue is taken to the elders council. After the elders council discussing the issue, then it is carried on and recommended to the church board. The church board discusses it. It votes. After voting, it is minute. Then the resolution is also read to the business meeting, because it is also the biggest meeting or within the local church. There's organization. We all aim at organization. Where do I start from? Whom do I approach concerning a certain issue that has come up within the church? For example, if at all God blesses you with money and you want to do something for this church, for example, you want to put tiles in this church, local church. Are you going to wake up because God blessed you with the money, then you bring builders, the pastor is not in the know, the elders are not in the know, but you want to offer to the church? Then the pastor coming from nowhere finds, the church has been done what? Tiled. Yes, you have done something that is good, but not in a proper way. Because even when I come out as a person who takes the local church pastor, I will ask, how did this happen? And the pastor will also look at, I also just found it here. But if at all the Lord has blessed you, yes, we say thanks to Calvary, the Lord has blessed James. James goes to the departmental as far as development of the church is concerned. Then the departmental sits within his committee, they discuss about it, they welcome the money because it is going to beautify the what? The church of God. But every section of leadership in the church is in the know. Why do we do that? Because the Lord might have blessed you with money. For you, your wish is to put black all over the church, which is not the vote of the church board, which is not the vote of the business meeting. That's why we start with the committee. The committee puts it to the elders' council. Then the elders' council recommends to the church board. And after resolving, the resolution is brought back to the business meeting.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We want to go to the audience now. The microphone is here. Come and join us. The people who had the questions. The three people, please come. We ask at once. Come here at the front.
Good morning, Church. My question to the church and to pastors who are answering, I have like two questions, but almost similar. It has a slightly different. I beg I'm fearing the camera, so that's why I'm standing from this side. Okay. Now, my question is, on the issue of marriage, the Bible talks of no having sex before marriage. Suppose I'm having my partner. He or she wanted to engage in marriage, and unfortunately, I still don't have like the dowry to pay to the family. What should I do? Now, like for instance, I could ask, and I go and ask before even paying any dowry, because I'm not yet married, and I ask the family of the girl that I wanted to have this one. Am I living in sin? That is one question. Then secondly, we have been in like the courtship for quite a very long time. And there comes like the situation is worsening. Yet we have been in a relationship for a very long period. Maybe I could say like having, you find yourself being like almost relative, all the relatives you get. What can I do in order to make the other one also to settle? Then I will also settle. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good morning to all of you, church. Thank you so much, pastors and our facilitator of yesterday. I want to ask a question concerning marriage and the courtship. This lesson was very interesting, and I had some questions to ask here. Well, one question is about relationship in our marriage. I've come to realize that there is a punishment happening in our family relations, especially wife and husband. This one happens because yesterday you talked about that the interest of men, the family as the husband, basis on sexual relation. But for the wife, is very interested on how she's cared by the husband. Now, there is a punishment which happens in sexual relations, and the husband is more punished by the wife sometimes. That whenever there is any problem there, as he sees that she's not well cared sometimes, she uses to punish the husband in the case of sexual relation. And we know that the hub of the family and the love is sexual relations. And that one bases on the man, he needs that. But now they are tended to be punished several times. Now, how are we going to help such punishments not to be applied in our marriages in the church? That is number one. Question number two is about marriage. There is a range which to me I see that is not adversible as I see myself biologically. How happens? For the case of women, they have limit in the sexual relations because they undergo menopause, which means that the strength of relationship is depreciating and it reaches a way that they are tired of that. But men, they have no any limit. Now it happens, for instance, that when you come to the case of Abraham, he married when there was a very big range between Sarah and Abraham. Abraham was 100 years when Sarah had 90 years. When they get the child, who is Isaac, which shows that there was a range of 10 years. And when also this lady died, when you go to Genesis 23, Sarah died. She was with 127 years, while Abraham had 137 years. But he remarried after losing Sarah. Now you will find that in accordance with the biblical context, the range must be big. But today you are marrying when there is no big range. So you will find that eventually the lady is tired of that action or that sexual relations while the man is still strong because the man has no limit. So for this thing, I see myself that there is a problem in our marriages. That's why some men go outside there to look for other ladies because already their wives are very exhausted and they are no longer in sexual relations. How are we going to help our church on that issue? Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Young people, are you hearing? Sex is causing a concern. We are going to answer, don't worry. Come here, look in the camera and ask your question.
I think, Pastor, we may not have enough time.
Yes.
Probably we could take all the questions at once and then give a response because the time is almost getting done. Some people are waiting to get triggers and then they come.
Okay.
We have little time. If you have a question, please come forward. We ask all the questions and then we close.
Elder, let's first take from here because the last question was very hot. We need to first exhaust it. This will be the last one for now. Then we take the next set. Hey, please go. Go on and ask. Go on and ask.
Good morning, church. We thank you, pastors and elders, for nourishing our souls. My question comes from what we learned on Monday about Holy Communion. We believe the bread is the body of Jesus Christ. It represents, and the blood, that's the juice we take. But where the leftovers are always buried, not so? Yeah, why do we bury if it's the body of Jesus Christ who raised? Why do we bury them again? Yet Jesus Christ raised from the dead.
Good morning, church. Thank you very much. So my questions is on courtship and marriage. For example, you have a partner whom you have been in relationship for quite some time, for example, maybe 2 to 3 years. In that period, you are from different tribes. For example, maybe let me take an example like Binyora or Buganda. Maybe you have a partner and you're from different tribes. Not knowing that the other tribe does not allow the other one to marry the other one. But as two come together, you accepted to be in that relationship and it's the healthy one. Now coming to go to the parents to ask for the hands in marriage, you find that the parents will tell, no, this one is from the other one and this one is from the other one. We don't need to. They will tell their daughter, no, we don't need. Of course, for men, it is possible. You can sometimes tell your parents, no, I love this one, and they accept. But mostly with ladies. They tell that lady, no, we don't need this gentleman because from this tribe, so our culture does not allow that. Now, as a good Christian, we are asking ourselves, what should we do about that? That's question number one. Number two, we all know that in relationships, yes, it is a very healthy one to also come with finances. You cannot tell me that you are going to start a family and without the support. You find that as a youth in this generation, you may find that you are still a graduate or maybe you are still at school, but you find a partner whom you feel like to go with that partner. And at the end of it, yes, you really love that partner because of the behavior, the being kind and all other things. Anything you can find in a woman. So, they tell you that no, they tell the parents that they tell their daughter that, this one does not have money, is a jobless one. So we don't need someone to bring poverty in our home. Better you get someone else. Now as a Christian, you, the person who have been denied a chance to marry that lady, and you think you can never find any girl in other place apart from that girl. What should we do as a Christian? Thank you very much.
Hallelujah. Okay, we are taking first these ones. Don't worry, we are coming. Huh? This one, eh? Okay, one more.
Thank you so very much. Good morning, church. Yes, I asked this question yesterday and it was not answered, so that's why I'm reiterating it again. Yesterday, Elder hinted about conflict resolution in relationships and marriages. So I had requested if we could give us some tips on how we can resolve some conflicts. Then there's a presentation on Monday about work and all that. I don't know if they can also ably answer that question. Yes, some of us were working for church organizations, but some of our immediate supervisors may not be from within church. So if that person presents to you work to do on Saturday, and you cannot tell your boss who is an Adventist, I can't do this work, and you are penalized for not doing that work, how can we go about that? Thank you so very much.
Thank you for all these questions.
Elder, as you respond to that, this goes to Pastor Sally. Probably can read through and you'll give us a response.
The first speaker, I don't know if I got him well. His voice was very heavy in the microphone, and I picked a few things. But I heard he was complaining about being refused sex before marriage if he doesn't have money for a wedding right away. Is that what he said? Yes. Now, I think I would also join that with, okay, this is about the family, the parents. Maybe I would ask a question. If I don't have money and I'm hungry, should I steal? Probably not. If I don't have money to marry, that means I should prepare myself to marry. Sometimes we make a mistake. And when I say we, I'm talking about the church. The what? The church. There are times when we make weddings for our members. The member completely has nothing. Completely has what? Nothing. Not even a source of income. And the church says, let us help our church member to marry. Now, if this church member cannot even look after himself as one what? He cannot even buy himself a shirt. And we say, let us help him, and we marry for him, we wed for him, we marry for him, and even wed for him as a church. Are we helping him or we are burying him? Because automatically when he marries, that is extra responsibility. He will have children. Will the church always sustain those children? Surely not. The same happens when we enjoy these things of sex. They come with repercussions. When I was studying this book, McKean, Introduction to Biology, it was teaching reproduction, the theoretical part. But I think McKean forgot to put a disclaimer that if you practice this thing, it comes with products that you must handle. So when we may want to be there, let us be sure, let us know that it will come with problems which will make the situation even what? Even worse. Because you don't have money, you want to have sex, and I told you, every time you have a woman, every time you have what? A woman goes with money. Never take a woman out without money. You men, I want to tell you. So if you say you don't have money to marry and you can afford sex, that means you can also afford to marry. Because sex is not free. It goes with costs. True or false? You are town people. You know what I mean. We are not talking about village people who have free lodges, the green lodges, or whatever. It goes with costs. So if you can afford those costs, that means you can also afford the cost of what? Of marriage. In relation to this, let me tell you this. There are men who fear to marry because they think they don't have money, but they want sex. That means they will want to have a girlfriend or girlfriends. It is more costly to have a girlfriend than to have a wife. Did you know that? Your wife will tell you, we don't have this, don't misuse money. But your girlfriend will ring and tell you, I have a birthday party. The bill is on you. My friend has this, the bill is on you. I don't have shoes, they are black. But you know these shoes don't have a skirt to go with. Then the hair, then that cost is very high. So sex is very what? Expensive. You cannot say that you want sex and yet you cannot afford it to do what? To marry. So if you can afford it, then you can also afford to do what? To marry, and you live more cheaply. Then there is this other issue. When you find you're in love and then you are related, you are in courtship, and then you find that you are related. Then what do? If, for example, you grow in different areas, and you find a girl, and you realize that she's your mother's daughter, whom you didn't know, that is automatic. You leave the relationship. That is obvious. We don't have to do on that, I think. That is automatic. Then the other thing is the wife punishing a man using sex. Am I getting it right? Yes. There was one pastor I was listening to in my local language, and he was hitting it even worse than I'm doing it. And he was telling women that you women, there is a product you have that you take as gold. And you punish men with this gold you have, which was given to you freely by God. And even when you entered marriage, the vow, why would you say, pastors, I will love you, Muvi, ne mu bulungi nkuwa ebyange byonna, I give you my all. What is that all you are giving? Everything. Then you know what Paul said. You are not the master of your what? Your body. Each one of us, once you are in a marriage, each one of you should satisfy the other. So women who use the sex as a weapon, you get it wrong and you should stop it. Then the other one is the range of women and men. Yes, we know that as women grow, their libido goes down very quickly, more than it does for men. This is an issue I've always talked about, even at KCC and whatever. And we have also talked about the range of the years. Maybe for purposes of those people who have never heard us discuss it, I can repeat it. Normally, men in their 20s can feel comfortable marrying a woman who is 18. A man of 20 can feel comfortable marrying a woman who is 18. With the difference of how many years? 2 years. And it is in this range of 20s where boys, actually I don't want even to call them men, boys of 20 in their 20s, when you tell them, when you advise them, they will tell you age is just a number. And they will even go for a woman who is older than they are by 1 year or 2 years. Does it happen? That's because you see the girl is beautiful, you die for the girl. Now that is a very wide area. If I had time, I will talk about that. Yes? You forget that this girl is older than you. One boy told me, she understands me. I see I have a future with her. And I said, no, she's just in parental mode. Because she's older than you, she treats you as a younger brother. So when you see her, she's treating you as a younger what? Brother. The other thing, ladies don't listen to this, but it's for the men. And I will be very straightforward. Men these days, you are very elusive and you are very scarce. Even when you are there in your trousers. So these ladies you see, many of them are squatting. And you know the Chiganda saying, yes. So when you tell a girl, I want to marry you, even before you complete the statement, she has already run to the Senga to tell her. And yet you are just joking around. So when you get this girl and you say you want to marry her, and she's seeing other girls not getting married, say, she will get you and she will not release you. So don't say things when you're not serious, because they will squeeze you and they get you into that marriage and you will not get out of it. So, in a way, as you grow, as a man grows, he starts to realize that he needs a woman who is younger than he is. So by the age of 35, the man will want a woman who is 30 and below. He has added a difference of how many years? 5. So you see, now by the time the man is 48 years, he will still want a woman who is 30 and below. How many years has he added? A difference of 18 years. Yes? By the time a man is in his 50s, he will want a woman who is also more 20 years younger, more than 20 years younger than he is. That means a man of 50 will still want a woman who is below 30. He has added how many years? More than 20. So in a nutshell, the older the man grows, the younger he wants the woman to be. That's why you'll find old men, you'll find younger girls dangling around old what? Old men. And then you say, these men, it is just the nature of men. All these men who are here, as they grow, it happens that they will want younger women. But when they are not yet there, you will hear now some of you will talk of the generation, you call it what?
X.
Cross-generation sex and whatever. Most of the people who talk about cross-generation sex bitterly are the young men who are competing with old men over the same girls, or the old women who are also being phased out by the young what? By the young girls. Now I'm talking about this, we'll talk about the Bible, but me I'm talking about reality. You get it? So they will bring their verses. So now it means that if you marry early, if you are going to marry, I know women will hate me, but normally after talking to them or normally after reading my books, they say, "But Mugokoma, you hit us so much, maybe you're going to be truthful." Because you see them, it is a two-way. If you are a girl and you allow yourself to be married by a boy who is younger than you, you know you are in trouble. Because as he grows and as he advances to come to his senses, he will tell you at one point, "I'm helping you." When you look at yourself, you go to the mirror and actually you have done what? You have phased out. You have faded. And then you have trouble for the rest of your life. So even you women, when you are looking at men, look for men of responsibility, not boys of your age. Because they will come back later, and you cannot undo it. You already have the children, you already actually they are struggling with the family, and the man will run away because of just the age difference. But this does not mean that it is all lost. These things, once you know them, then you know your disadvantage. Then you learn to package yourself well, because you know the man you are dealing with. So the way you treat him, not the way you be treating somebody who used to know. You know this man is changing like this, so how do I handle him? Then you learn how to handle him. You also learn to work on yourself so that you remain attractive. I will give an example of newspapers. Newspapers used to be the main media in the whole world. Now when radio came, it brought competition on newspapers. They had to find ways of competing with radio. Now TV came. TV came with pictures, those videos. Newspapers also started to bring in pictures which were colored so that they can also have that feeling that, you see, at least we are showing you the events. So there is this competition that will always be there in all aspects. So don't say, "I'm already in a marriage," and then you just go there for you don't care about yourself. You know there's a lot of competition surrounding you. So in a nutshell, I'd say on that point, that if you can have somebody of a higher range than you, go for somebody who is older, preferably 10 years and above. Even 15 years is okay. Because the person who quoted gave you Sarah and who? Sarah and Abraham. If I told somebody of 37 years to stand, said a woman of 27 years also stand up, chances are very high that the man of 37 may look younger than a woman of 27, depending on how the body of that woman. So the more the woman, the more the years the woman stays, the more the man started losing what? The compatibility starts to be questionable. So don't marry the people. I wouldn't like us to marry people of the same age. You can look at your parents. Normally at our age, the age difference with our wives is about 5 years. Go and look at your parents in their 40s and 50s. Who looks older, your father or your mother? Your mother. What do we say here in Uganda?
Depend. Elder, it varies. Different couples. There are some where the mothers look younger.
I was coming to that. But there is a Chiganda saying, "Atala bachi, atala wa mama we mubuto yagamba atya, ntitata wa museru mukazi." Not so? Yes. Now it only depends. There are women who are lucky; they have small bodies and small faces. Now when you go to Mbale and you go to Rwenzori, the women they are very small. Especially when you go to the Rwenzori side. You look at the girl, you think she's in senior 3, but they tell you that woman has 7 children. You go there, so if you are so lucky that you are that type of small woman, and you look youngish all the time, that is okay. But still these men, let me leave that one at that point before I go too far.
Elder, I want you to pause a little bit because we are running out of time. We want to turn this way, but the young people who are there and you're following us, marriage is not only about sex. When you're young, when you're still single, imagine when I get married, I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to be enjoying every day, morning, lunchtime, evening. But when you get there, the reality dawns upon you that you come for camp meeting, you go for camp meetings for over a month and you are not enjoying. You're not eating. Do you stop being a human being? No. So marriage is more than just sex. Though sex helps to keep the marriage intact and you enjoy. But when you get there, that's why Elder is insisting, wait, be patient. When you get there, you'll enjoy from everywhere, kitchen, bathroom, sitting room. Pastor, let's go this way.
Thank you so much, Elder. Some of the questions that have been sent to this side pertaining local church, some are a repetition. One of the issues that disturbed the General Conference in one of the sessions was ordination of female elders. And it is one of the questions that I did talk about, that we see a pastor, church elders where there are no women and church members. But why is it here, more so in Uganda, we don't have female elders? And my answer is, it's all about time. Because when you go to one of the divisions, that is North American division, we have female what? Elders. To the ECD, I believe it is all about time. When it shall come, then we shall do what? See it. But now, we don't do ordain female elders as ECD. There's another one that has come up. It is in Uganda, but it concerns all about wedding, but I've not got it so well. Then my sister posed the question as far as Holy Communion is concerned, that as a church, we do come together to join to celebrate the Lord's Supper. That is Holy Communion. She talks all about the emblems, but I want to assure you that the emblems, the bread, the wine, these are just but symbols. And in the Bible, it does say that before you partake of the Lord's Supper, come from your homes when you've already done what? Eaten. Known to come to the Lord's table so that you can get satisfied from where? There. Because even after uniting as a church, that's why when I'm carrying out Holy Communion, I ask, has everybody got the bread? Has everybody got the wine? Then if at all everyone has got, then we say, let's take two together. Then why run after the remains? It's as if you came so that you can get satisfied at the table of God. But after eating together in unity, then the remains, there's no use. And another thing, to come out as good stewards, that's why we register every Sabbath the number of members that has come together to partake of the Lord's what? Supper. To give us a true picture of the members we are going to prepare for the next what? The next time. Meaning that the deaconry has to also act out as good stewards to see that there's no need of wasting every time. Why should we bury, all throw our way? Because the number that we registered points to us the next time as we carry on the Holy Communion, what number are we preparing for? Why do we bury? It is non-spiritual. And there's no text in the Bible that talks about it, that every after Holy Communion, you go and do what? And bury. But it brings all about the unity that we have, that has everyone taken, has everyone gotten the juice. Then after that, we join together as a church to celebrate the Lord's Supper. Then I shouldn't rush for the remains, because we did it as one church that is united. Someone is asking, why is it? Or should it be those who are prayed for, like the examples of deacons, deaconesses, to wash the church material? If at all I'm not a deacon and I have a washing machine at home, can't I carry it to my home, then I wash it from there? When I was starting this, I said that we have an organized church, because if at all you do that, you'll end up even using the clothes that are meant to do the duty of the church, then using them where? At home. So we come up as an organized church for the people concerned to do such an activity. They are the ones responsible. For example, if at all you have an institution and it is a school, and that school holds a bursar, it has a bursar. Because you did accounting, you're a teacher, do we at times find you seated at the office of the bursar doing the work that belongs to the bursar? Because there is order, there is organization within the institution. The same applies to the church of God, that let's always do things in an orderly way. Because we have offices, the offices that are meant to do the different works within the church, then we shall go on smoothly. If at all, today when you are not voted in as a deacon or deaconess, then who knows that next time you're going to be and you'll do the duty that is concerned of you in that office. Otherwise, the rest of the papers that have come in were appreciating for the work well done.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Pastor. Because of time, Elder Mkokoma, 1 minute. 1 minute, we see how to wind up as we transition in divine service.
Okay, about tribal differences. Before you engage in a relationship, if your tribes are not in agreement, but I believe we should all be believers. When we are believers, the issue of tribe is not there. So, my courtship with fellow believers, I know that problem will not come if we are all good Christians. If you are poor, and if parents say you are poor, I think I've already addressed that when you don't yet have money, please work to engage in marriage. Otherwise, if you don't have money, how are you going to sustain the marriage? Maybe the parents could be right, but sometimes the parents also are very greedy. And so if there are parents here, please stop that greed. Let people marry if they can be able to sustain their marriage. About conflict resolution, a few tips. First of all, we must know that as human beings, we hurt each other. And so purpose in your heart, not to hurt another person. So, have that in mind. If you yourself feels hurt, then another person will also be hurt. Remember Matthew 7:12, that golden rule, do unto others what you want them to do unto you. Sometimes we hurt others, or we are hurt just because we don't understand the situation. Discuss the situation. Maybe you misunderstood each other. Maybe the communication was not right. So if you sit willing to discuss together for good purposes, then it's okay. Let us look also at we are believers. Since we are believers, there's a way we must behave. Forgiving is very key. I think if we can follow some of these, and the others I would have mentioned because of time, I think we can get there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Elder. Allow me read this, then Pastor can also summarize. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18 said, God created a helper for a man, But our girls of nowadays can't play their roles perfectly when it comes to helping by being prayerful. They are material. They want to always command. That is, if you don't have money or a house, you can't propose to them. Yet if you see some of our church leaders, when they married, they were broke. What do you think is affecting relationships? And how can you advise our girls to focus on building their marriage on happy foundation rather than financial foundation, being the fact that money may disappear in the future, leading the marriage to shake? You want me to answer? Stingy Men Association of Kampala. Please go and work, get money, because in marriage we need the money. But when you're broke and your wife has a birthday, she needs to be taken out. You'll be complaining. Every year we are celebrating birthdays. How many birthdays do you have? Young men, please work. Because money makes marriage sweet. But also women, if you have the ability, like Elder said yesterday, it is okay to exchange roles. If the money is there, please don't keep it under your armpit. We can share. Women are there to be given. Please, men, give. Once you give them, you'll be surprised they'll return the favor. Because we give them a seed, they multiply it, and you get children. So men who are here, please work, because when you have money, things become easier. Please don't look at them as materialistic. Who wants to live a poor life or a broke life? Young men who are here, please work. I thought the women would say amen. Young men, please work. But also women, please work. Nowadays we have career women. Once they are working and they bring money, we bring the money together. We are able to develop each other. So let us sit down at the round table. We discuss. We settle the issues. Please don't look at other relationships and pick how they are using their money, and you expect that if the other one is buying for his wife a car, even me buy for me. Relationships are different. While money is needed, it's not the only source of happiness. I've tried to summarize. Pastor, 1 minute, then we can leave.
Thank you so much, Pastor Perez. The last question: does the church accept divorce? It doesn't. As the SDA Church, we carry on marriages or weddings are done on behalf of the government. That's why you see, for anyone who wishes to divorce, doesn't go to the church, but goes where? To the court, to the government. That's where divorce is carried out from. Then the next question: can a divorced woman or man remarry when one is still alive? That somebody can remarry, giving a basis on the issue of unfaithfulness between the married partners. May God bless you.
I don't know whether I'm getting this right. And I don't think this is a question. I think somebody is telling us that we can encourage our youth to marry early, that they can come on a Sabbath and they are joined in holy matrimony. I think it's trying to say we should make our weddings and our marriages cheap, not very expensive. Sometimes actually people fail to marry because they want to make a very big wedding, and yet they don't have the money to make that big wedding, but they can afford a modest wedding. So if you can afford one, I think that is okay, especially the women who complicate things. They want to be in that big wedding which was better than the other one, which is better than the other one they saw. So I think this is what this person is just talking about. We have humble beginnings, then we can continue. So I think it was not a question. It was just a supplement. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much. We want to end here for now. I know we could be having many concerns. In the afternoon, we'll be having the pastoral team in the other place where the elders and the pastors have their meals from. In case you'd want to ask a one-on-one question, which you wouldn't have asked openly here, please feel free to go there. And also, if you want to be prayed for, they'll be available. God bless you. We want to end with a word of prayer from Pastor for this time.
Let us turn for a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we want to thank you for this hour. For the discussions that we've had, it only shows that the church is at study. Continue blessing every one of us. But above all, prepare us for your soon coming. For the rest of the programs that we are still having, send the Spirit of the Lord to guide us till we come to the end of it all. We pray this, trusting and believing in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Good morning once again. Happy Preparations Day. We are going to continue with our song service, and we'll be singing hymn number 518. 518, Standing on the Promises of God.